Okay, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so this is Computer Science Education Week, and we're out in a whole bunch of schools doing Hour of Code. But there have been pretty awesome coding and robotics initiatives going on the board for the past few years. So we'd like to take this opportunity to highlight what's kind of been going on, K to 12, where to start, what tools are out in the system, and all that kind of stuff related to coding. So off we go. So I'm just going to share my screen here real quick. Perfect. So you may have noticed this letter go out to the system from the ministry. This was actually right from the top, the Premier and the Ministry of Education recognizing the importance of the Hour of Code and Computer Science Education Week, which is happening right now. There are, if you check out this this letter, there are a number of cool links and ideas and webinars for teachers and students to learn more about computer science and coding, and a lot of different things to help kind of run an hour of code in your school. And like I said, we are in the schools right now doing that. And to help promote that, you probably saw this flyer that came out from the director's office, that this would be a great thing to make sure that your staff has seen, because there are a ton of links to news articles and videos suggesting and recommending the importance of computer science, breaking down kind of what it is, specifically about the Hour of Code and some of the things that you can be doing in schools, and quite importantly, how to contact us if you'd like help doing it. So this went out a couple weeks ago, but it would be definitely beneficial to kind of reshare and reinforce what's going on right now. So I'm going to flip over here to the Hour of Code website. There are a ton of activities, and this is typically where we start with coding. This is where we would introduce kids to coding. And there's a whole bunch of different activities for whatever interest. One of the most popular ones we do with students is Minecraft. There's Star Wars. Further down, there's Moana and Frozen, and a lot of cool kind of Disney ones. Flappy Bird is a great one. Angry Birds. There's a whole lot of great engaging kind of topics for introduction to code. So I'm just going to enter this Minecraft one so you get a sense of what it looks like. This is, again, something that you might consider doing with staff to introduce them, or staff can be doing with students. I'm going to press start, and it's going to take me to this, the Minecraft ones. This was kind of the introductory one, Minecraft Adventurer, and I'll just open that up so you get a sense of what it kind of looks like. Lots of them have these cool videos that pop up to kind of teach you about computer science in video games and things like that. But basically what you're doing is you've got this video game screen where the gameplay happens, and the coding is drag and drop. So you're pulling these commands, these instructions over into an order that the characters are going to work their way through. So it's very logical, it's very step-by-step, and that's kind of how it works. Is it's easy as that, is that you're given these commands, these blocks that represent code. Okay, so you're not typing lines of code, you're using these visual blocks to solve these puzzles. Very cool. So after we introduce students to Hour of Code, typically we recommend to teachers to check out studio.code.org, where there are these courses, these 20-hour courses to work through, and all different grade levels. But what's neat is that students can kind of do this on their own and work through, depending on their reading level and ability, and work up and build the skills involved in coding and solving problems with code. So after the Hour of Code and all those tools, this would be a great resource for teachers to check out if they had students who are interested. And the step that goes beyond that is scratch coding. So Scratch coding can be found at scratch.mit.edu, and it allows students to, they're not given the problem. This is where the teacher can give them the puzzle to solve. And they have all kinds of different blocks. It's not just the ones that they need to solve the problem. They can choose to do it anyway. And students can add different backgrounds, add different characters, create animations and conversations, and solve math problems using all of these different tools that are found in the coding blocks. But it's the same idea of that whole drag and drop and to make something happen, right? So, but it's wide open this way. So there's lots of room for way more creativity than these kind of pre-prescribed games. I'm just going to flip back to the Hangout here and stop sharing for a second. And because I wanted to show you a couple of the tools that are in your schools as well. Every school has at least 2 Sphero robots. Now, yours might be clear, but again, these tools can be coded the exact same way that you saw with that drag and drop block coding. Okay, so they can be coded on iPads using a drag and drop system to draw different shapes, to get through mazes, all kinds of different things, to change color. You can cover them in paint and draw actual shapes. These Spheros are in every school, and it's a pretty fun and engaging way for kids to explore computer science and math and art and those types of things. So pretty neat. There's also a lot of emerging robotics, and especially with Lego robotics. So we have a bunch of these Lego EV3s in the system, okay? And they basically have a programmable brick where you can send code from an iPad or a Chromebook, and they're hooked up. What's really neat is that they're hooked up to all kinds of motors, okay, and sensors. Okay, so there's touch sensors, so when it bumps into something, okay, there's color sensors, so it can look out for different colors and respond accordingly. Okay, this sensor you can get it to stop and move, and so it's really creative what kids can do to solve problems with that. And there's a number of these already out in the system, to the point where I'm just going to share my screen here one more time. We've got a huge growth in that kind of robotics field, and we have schools that are participating with First Robotics, which is an organization, and there's First Lego League junior teams that are emerging in our board. Okay, we have a competing First Lego League team at one of our schools, and we have another one of our schools that competes in the First Robotics competition. So there's this kind of continuation of all these different tools with an organization like First, but definitely lots of different ways that teachers can get involved. So again, I would check your email for that letter that came out from the ministry and that flyer that came out from us, because there's a lot of different stuff going on, and sometimes it's tricky to figure out where to start and what to do. And those would be the tools that could get you up and running with coding in your schools. So I'm just going to turn it over to Candace here to see if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And so, yeah, that was a great summary of different coding and robotics things that are happening in the schools. If you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the chat there, and we'll get Brian to address them.
Sorry, say again there, Candace. Was there?
Yeah, there's no questions as of yet.
Okay. All right.
I guess you did a great job.
Yes. So thanks for joining us. Let us know if there's any way we can help, folks.
Thank you.